Okay.
There's pleasure in the patches of woods. There's rapture in the lonely shore. There's a society where none intrudes. By the deep sea, music it roars. I love not man but nature. With this, a very good evening to one and all present here. I'm your host, Radrani Garg, bringing yet another webinar on the topic Power of 300, an initiative of the Midway journey. Before we begin the enthralling webinar, here's a small brief about us, the team Anajori, to our new audience who have just joined today. Anajori means a bond of love. It signifies unconditional love. And indeed, it is this very bond of love that had brought back the founder, Milind Datta, right from USA to start up the non-profit organization in 2018, which engages and promotes various initiatives right from striving for social changes to owning leadership skills and entrepreneurship skills in and across Northeast, including Assam. For the past few months, the team of Anna Jori have been engaging with speakers from various fields, creating a network among the working for this region. And today, I have I'm very profusely elated to have the opportunity to welcome our guest speaker, the founder of the Midway Journey, Shirshendu Sekhar Das. Mr. Das, after his completion of PhD and being a master's in astrophysics, left everything and came all the way to start his initiative and plans for waste management. That's truly inspiring, sir. Sir also works for Street Animal Welfare and Fridays for Future Indian team. Sir, the work that you have done and your team have done, right from that of the cleanup campaigns to that of Kachre Pe Charcha, to that of waste segregation, drives, all of these are very incredible and yet very inspiring. One of the very recent projects that you have started is Power 300, which as per my understanding involves collection of the dry waste and then recycling, and after collecting it, you go for recycling it. This is one of the very unique and incredible concepts that I have come across in the very recent times. And we, the team Anna Jori, is looking forward to know more about this social experiment. Can segregation, collection, and recycling be a solution for the betterment of the earth, for the betterment for the more pollution-free environment? Let's find out. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Rudrani, for the introduction. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about Power of 300. Rudrani, if you who is sharing the screen?
So the host is sharing the screen, sir.
Okay, fine. Sorry, I just can't see who is the host, so sorry for that.
So they have started the screen share now.
Yeah. Fine, thank you so much. So if there's any problem with my audio or maybe the presentation, anyone just feel free to, unmute and tell me. So basically Rudrani has already given the introduction of Power of 300, what is it? So yeah, I have been working in the field of waste management since 2018 under the banner of the Midway Journey. And this is one of the projects that we began approximately 2 years back. It's still not yet 2 years. It will turn 2 years in the month of April. So we started during the first wave of COVID in 2020. That's when we ideated this. So basically, you can see it's written as Dry Waste Management Service of Guwahati City. When we say dry waste, it basically means there are two kinds generally that we segregate, that is wet waste and dry waste. So wet waste is a kitchen waste. Everything that's being produced from kitchen is wet waste. The other stuff like plastics, paper, glass, electronic waste, metals, these all come under the dry waste sector. So I'll just try to show you. This is a very brief presentation. This is a presentation which I had also used to, talk about PO3 in some kind of a waste management competition. So this is the same PPT that I'm using today. So can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So in Guwahati city, so right now it's a very approximate data that 600 tons, which in kilos, it's 6 lakh kilos of mixed waste is dumped in Guwahati's landfill. So this landfill is situated in, it was situated initially in Boragaon, that is on Deporbil area, which is the only Ramsar site of Northeast India. Sorry, of Assam, sorry. And so then it was shifted to Chandrapur because NGT closed down this dump site. But there were protests, again, a lot of protests, which definitely should have happened because that's a very biodiversity-rich area. Then this dump site was, came back to the area near Deporbil. So the present dump site is situated at a place called Belor Tol, which is almost 700 to 800 meters kind of from the previous dump site, still very close to Deporbil, or almost on the edge of Deporbil. And this amount, 6 lakh kilos, this is the amount of waste produced by citizens of Guwahati city, entire city, and this is being dumped in a mixed format, like all together into landfill, that is Belor Tol, every single day. Can we go to the next slide? So if we try to understand where is the problem, of this way, where is this waste coming from actually? So we see that 75% of this waste is actually coming from households. Okay. So we might be thinking there are industries, there are so many, commercial spaces where a lot of waste is being generated, right? But actually 75% means 3/4 of all this waste which is dumped is actually coming from households. Let's go to the next slide. So let's try to see what is the problem faced by households, right? If we see, these are some pictures all taken from Guwahati city. So there is this inefficient and irregular waste collection, right? So we know, in different parts, like Guwahati city had before, like previously it was 31 municipal wards. Now I think it's 60 municipal wards. In very recently, we have like more wards, the ward division has happened. So there are NGOs, under the municipality. In Guwahati, the municipality themselves do not collect the waste. There are NGOs registered, and they are working under the municipality. These NGOs are working in different wards of Guwahati city. But we have come to know from many citizens that the waste collection is not efficient or regular in all the parts of the Guwahati city. And if waste is not picked up every day, what happens is people are dumping the waste on the roadside and they're burning it. Like if you go out at night after 9:30 p.m., you see when the shops close down, they're just dumping the waste out and burning it off, because there's a problem in the waste collection service in those areas. And then you can see in the second image the kind of waste being dumped in drains, right? And also you see how animals, the stray animals, like cows, dogs, goats, cats, they are, feeding. Even monkeys in many areas are eating this mixed waste, where there is a lot of harmful substances also, like plastics, as you can see in the image. So these all show that the waste collection system, has a lot of issues as of now. If we can go to the next slide. Can we go to the next slide, please? Hello? Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, thank you. So we see that, so we are talking about the problems faced by households, right? So first we saw that the collection service has an issue. The second issue, we see that there are many households who are segregating waste at source, right? They are, putting the wet waste separately. As I said, wet waste means the kitchen waste, and the dry waste separately. That is the plastics, paper, and all of that. because this is the only way possible to tackle the waste management crisis in any part of the world, as we say. Segregating waste is a main important thing that we must be doing at home. But now we see that even if we are doing that, the municipal collectors, they come, or the NGOs under the municipality, they come, they collect your waste, and if you have two different bins where you have segregated the wet and dry, they'll just mix it up. So people also question as well, what is the use of segregating in that case, right? The third, if you see, this is the image of we can say it's a rag picker who is collecting waste from people's home. So this is my home, and I am giving, so I gave all this waste from my home to this person. But now I'm sure you all might have, had this kind of, you might have sold your waste from home to rag pickers. Like we can hear this Loha Tina plastic, which comes home, right? The rag pickers. And when we give the waste, we see that they don't take all kinds of waste. You try giving everything from your home to them. They say, no, no, we don't take everything. They say, you can give us newspapers. Maybe you can give us some metals, iron, or some plastic bottles or glass, but not everything, right? So the informal sector, we call the rag pickers and the scrap dealers of the city as the informal sector. They are unable to provide us a one-stop collection service, because it's not possible that if the municipality is mixing up the waste, so let's give to the rag pickers. That's not being possible because rag pickers are not taking all of the waste. Let's go to the next slide. So here we are talking about that this is a time to take action. So it's an old slide. So one of the data is needs to be updated. That Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 I have written. The 2021 ranks have also come up, where Guwahati's rank in 2020 was 356, and it was almost among 380 kind of cities. So you can imagine how low was our ranking. This year the ranking has slightly improved to around 316, 17. But nothing much has changed on ground. Yes, I should say the waste collection service, I believe, has improved as people now are saying. At least waste is collected from home more efficiently than before. Okay, but our ranking is very, very poor. And secondly, we see that NGT, National Green Tribunal, that's a court who gives judgments on environmental issues. They have asked for a long time to the municipality to close dumping, to not dump any waste in Boragaon, the previous dump site that we had, because it's very close to the Deepor Bill. Okay, it's close to a wildlife sanctuary. So finally, municipality had to close down that previous facility, previous landfill. But now what they are doing is they started searching for new lands. Of course, naturally, Guwahati city is generating so much of waste. They have to be dumped somewhere, right? So they tried to dump in Chandrapur, and it was met with severe protests. Means even if the municipality plans to dump waste in front of my home, even I will protest, right? Because no one likes for the waste of the city to be dumped in front of their home, right? Now, as I've already told, that the waste is still being dumped in a place called Belortol, which is very near to the previous landfill site. And people of Deeporbil, people of these Boragaon areas are heavily protesting even now to stop this. And third, as I've said in the slide, as it's time to take action. It's writing that segregating waste to save Guwahati, that if you have to save Guwahati, means there is so much of waste, where will you dump it? If you don't dump it to a landfill, then you have to keep it inside the city, which will give rise to a lot of diseases. So what to do? It's a big problem. So if you see, I have even underlined the points. It says segregating waste at home is the only way to prevent more household waste from ending up at the dump site. So all we have to do is to do a very simple thing to start with. Take 2 dustbins and separate out our wet waste, anything that's coming from the kitchen, and the dry waste. Dry means any paper, plastic, metals, glass, this should be kept in a separate dustbin. This is the first basic step that has to be done if we want our waste management to improve, if we want to save our Deepor bill from the dump site. This we have to do as individuals, as families, as households, we have to do this much. Let's go to the next slide. So here what we are doing is that since right now the municipality has not come up with any such plan of collecting segregated waste yet. Yes, they do have vehicles, green and blue, wet waste, dry waste, but they have not yet started the collection of segregated waste, right? So hence we came in to fill that gap. So we started this project called the Power of 300, where you can just book appointment to give your waste. So we have a Google form where you can register for Power of 300, and once we get your data of your name and address, we will inform you when we shall be going to your home to collect your waste. So it is a doorstep waste collection only if you are keeping your waste segregated and in clean and dry conditions. And we also charge a service fee for this because we are carrying our vehicle. There are people working with us whom we have to employ to do further segregation. So for that we charge a very minimal user fee. We have written around a minimum of 20 rupees per household and a minimum of 100 rupees for a commercial establishment. So it's a minimum so that more people can participate. If anyone has the capacity to pay more, we also take the higher amount too. And we say that it is a one-step solution for all waste. When I'm saying all waste, we do not take the kitchen waste. Other than that, all forms of dry waste, be it paper, metals, glass, plastic, you give all of that to us. All of that. So the difference is we are not saying that we will take only the newspapers or only the glass. You give us all. Just that you have to keep them clean and dry and then give it to us. Maybe it's a chips packet, maybe it's wrapper, a comb, any broken or unbroken glass, metals, as old as possible. You can electronic waste, you can give all of that to us. Sorry, next slide. So you see that, so what are the gifts coming in with this service? These are the extra thing that's coming in. The first here is when you register with us, you get a waste segregation chart. So in the chart, it will be correctly, properly explained how you need to segregate, what are the items we collect. Second is, it's a work under process. We are making short videos in local language. That's Assamese and Hindi mainly we are targeting right now. So mainly the Assamese that we are working on right now so that it can, reach out to more masses. And third, we already have a 24/7 helpline number. So while segregating waste, if you have any confusion that, will this item get recycled, you can call us or WhatsApp us on number that will be shared once you register for this. Second point is, you see, we have collaboration with multiple stakeholders to ensure 100% recycling efficiency. So all that you give us, nothing is going to the dump site. Nothing is going to go to Deepor Bill for the landfilling. All that we are doing is we are creating a network of scrap dealers and recyclers to whom first we segregate in our own office, and then we are sending this waste to all, in this multiple network, will recycle and make different products out of it. And third is our timely and regular dry waste collection by trained workforce at affordable cost. So every month when we collect the waste, we come once a month or once in a fortnight. If you don't get shocked why we are coming once a month or once in a fortnight, because we are asking you to collect dry waste. Dry waste do not smell. If you segregate, the food items smell, they give a foul smell within 24 hours. But your paper, your plastic, your metals, they never smell. So we ask people to store them because the amount of waste generated in a day is also very less at homes. So once it's suppose 2 weeks for a family of 5 or 6 people, or for a family of 2-3 people, we can collect once in just a month. So when there is an appreciable amount of waste, we'll come to your home and collect it together. So the time is informed way ahead. You will be informed about when we are coming at least 10 days beforehand. You will know when we are coming, exactly at what time, where we are reaching. You will get all the information. And of course, the fourth point is also a work in process for us. It's a dignified job for marginalized communities. When we talk about rag pickers, they are a marginalized community, and you see them working near open dustbins. They are picking up waste from drains, and that's not a dignified job at all. And they are doing it because we are littering waste. We are littering our city. We are making it dirty. That's why they have to work like that. They are, putting their bare hands into the open dustbins because we are not segregating our waste, and also that the municipality is not collecting segregated waste. Both are the reasons. So the our service that we call as Power of 300, what is it doing is that we employ rack pickers directly to our office. There are people who will collect the waste in our vehicle from multiple points. Then they'll come to our office, and in our office, which is a shaded area, having proper ventilation and all, that's where the rack pickers are working with proper like gloves and everything. So in that thing, we believe that this is a dignified job that we are being able to provide, and we are looking forward to make their lives better with our service. Next slide, please. So it's a journey so far that we have been collecting waste from around 550 households in Guwahati. Yeah, you can think that in a city of lakhs and lakhs, we are collecting from just 550 families. But also, I will tell the other side of it, that it is also a city where the municipality or the government has not yet made segregation mandatory. So people have this choice to not clean their waste and just dump their waste. In such a state, we have been able to shift the mindset of 550 families where they are happily, you can see the smile in the screen, where they're happily segregating their waste, they're cleaning the waste, and we are collecting from them every single month. And this has been doing, it's not just 1.5 years, because this presentation was made like 2 months, 3 months back. So it's almost going to be 2 years now. And we have collected almost till now close to 6 tons of waste till now, means from the beginning of this project, like that is 6,000 kilos of waste. Nothing of it has gone to the dump site. All of it is being recycled. Next slide, please. So these are the kind of coverage that we have got till now. We are really very thankful to the print and digital media who have been covering our news for what we have been doing. And because of this, we have been able to, reach out to more people of the city and outside too, who are interested to segregate or learn the process of waste segregation at home. We look forward to have more and more people of Guwahati to join this. And even if there are any organizations who are in other parts of the country and they want to run some similar campaigns, if there are places in the entire country, anywhere where people want their waste to get used, utilized, or recycled, and they don't want their waste to be dumped, we are ready to share our idea on how we have started our struggles and how, the steps that they can follow without us needing to go to any other place of the country. We can do it online tournaments in these times. So we are open to this, and we really hope that more people of the city come forward and be a part of Power of 300 and ensure that they don't contribute to polluting the Deepor bill anymore. They don't contribute to, creating more pollution through waste. All they have to do is segregate waste at home and just keep it clean. That's all. The rest we will take care of. So next slide, please. Thank you. That's all I wanted to share. This has been a discussion on a very superficial level. We have just told about the basics of the program that we are doing. If any one of you have any question about this program, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed a very incredible presentation, and we did have a lot of knowledge regarding not just the waste in case of Guwahati, but as well as the project. So from the floor is open now for the questions. Any questions? So I had a very minor question. So when you're saying regarding the waste dumping, that you're taking the waste right from the home, does this even include the medical waste? Because in many cases, if we are going to see, it's the very fact that there are also the medicine bottles as well as medicine papers as well, when it comes to homeopathy, which is given in papers in many cases. And even right from the hospitals also, are you collecting it? What is in the case of the medical waste?
Yeah, very good question. So, see, there are two categories of medical waste. So, like one falls under hazardous waste, okay, like the cotton swabs and all, suppose the injections, the needles that are being pushed into people's bodies, those are considered as hazardous waste and they are not considered under the aspect of dry waste, okay. But if we consider the medical packaging, the paper and the plastic packaging, the bottles of medicines, once we are done with our, course of medicine, those comes under the category of general waste and we do collect all of that. And of course, I should also mention that COVID waste does not fall under dry waste. It is also a hazardous waste. So people who are testing, like now we have test at home options also. So those should never be put into dry waste or for recycling. They can be a cause of serious concern for the people who handle dry waste and segregate them, right? It might, it might lead them to become positive. So we shouldn't do that.
Okay, sir. So this was one of my questions regarding the COVID thing itself. Like in the case of COVID, where it's basically, I mean, you answered the question itself. Also, are there any more questions? So by the time that they are answering, I just had a very a question that's not related to the topic as such, but it's the fact that in today's time we see a lot of geopolitics as well as astropolitics. In the sense, so since you're even related to that of astrophysics, do you think that of dumping of waste right in space is correct?
So yeah, I mean, exactly yesterday itself, I was talking to my friend that what if there's nothing wrong to imagine because technology starts from an idea, from imagination. So we were imagining what if we could dump the waste in space and then maybe close to the sun and it incinerates completely. But the problem here is that basically, why is waste a problem? If we try to understand this fact that waste, anything we see, waste means what? Paper, metals, or anything. What are these made up of? These are made up of natural resources, right? So whatever, now we are using natural resources to make something and then dumping that thing somewhere out of sight, out of mind, right? But our resources are limited on our planet. It's not, our resources is not infinite, right? So if we have to keep using, and if we think that we have to sustain as a civilization for long, then we can't do that. We just create waste and throw it into the space, because we can't continue this for long, because then we will our natural resources will reduce over time, and then there will be a time where we can't have any more of those raw materials to create the packaging and all that materials. So if we want to exist, and to exist we need different kind of items where waste somewhere or the other will be a part of our life, less hopefully, but will be a part of our life. For that, we have to go for a cyclic economy. Now, what the way we live in Guwahati is like a linear economy, like manufacture, buy, consume, throw. That's linear. But what we need to do it is that there is something, manufacture, then buy, consume, then utilize, and take it back to the manufacturing. So only then our dependence on natural resources will decrease over time, as the recycling rate or the utilization of this so-called waste increases over time to make new products. Our dependency on natural things will reduce over time. So that is the only way, as I understand, that we can sustain as a civilization.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Also, sir, regarding, I just had this very curious question. During the time of COVID, did the waste collection increase or did it decrease in times of COVID?
sorry, there's some technical, sorry, not, it's a little bit problem from my side. Yeah. So you were saying, are you asking if the waste collection increased or decreased? Is it that during COVID?
Yes, sir.
Initially in the first wave and all, it did decrease because everyone was in a state of panic, and so it did decrease. But during the second wave, after the second wave and third wave, when the vaccination started, so our government vaccinated the waste collectors as frontline workers, which I really appreciate, a great step they have done. So once they were vaccinated, they could be back on ground to continue the waste collection service without fear. So yeah, so first wave there was an impact, but not much during the second and third wave. Third wave, so of course, there was no impact at all on the waste collection.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I think Kashmira has given a question that what are the challenges that we have faced and how we have convinced people to segregate waste. So first of all, the challenges that I faced was a lot of challenges. Like there were people who wanted to segregate waste, but again the problem was like transportation. People are saying, I have said that, okay, I'll go to your home and collect the waste, but then to burn fuel and go to a home and then, take up plastics and waste was there was many expenditure associated with it. Like even after collection, we also have to segregate that waste into multiple categories before we send them for recycling. So there's a lot of expense associated with this entire project. But what we started was a very small group, like a group of 11 families started segregating, and gradually it has increased. So what I did was that I was doing it almost like we have a team of 8 people under the Midway journey. So we didn't employ anyone initially. We were doing all by ourselves. We were collecting, we were segregating, and reaching out to the recycling centers. Gradually, as the program is expanding, now we have a group of 3 interns working with us. We have people joining us as paid volunteers right now. So gradually, I see that we are expanding, and this expense is gradually being looked after because the process, as more families are coming in, joining this, then our finance part is gradually getting sorted. It's taking time, but I'm hopeful about that. And how we have convinced people to segregate waste, I think it starts from 2019. When we started doing riverbank cleanups, we started training citizens on how to handle waste at home. Because see, we do conduct cleanup drives at Brahmaputra riverbank or even at Deepor Bill. But where is the problem actually? Did someone come and just throw their waste at the Brahmaputra riverbank just like that? The problem lies that we are unable to handle the waste at home. That's why the waste is going to the wrong place. Okay, so with time we realize where the real problem lies. The real problem doesn't lie at the riverbank or in the dump site at Deepor Bill. The real problem lies with the people or with all the organizations and any entity, institutions who are generating waste. Like I also generate waste. So we have to change our habit of storing the waste. First of all, you have to reduce waste. How much we are generating? We say 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. We have to start with reducing the amount of waste we generate. We have to become aware. We can't just keep on using single-use plastics for simple reasons, like for going shopping. We are using poly bags. It's I will say being a little irresponsible behavior on our side as citizens too. A lot of advertisement is going on where the government is also trying to tell people to reduce the amount of single-use plastic waste that we are generating. So we have to work on that, as well as whatever waste we generate. We can't get to zero waste directly. So all the waste that we're generating, we need to start to, understand what to do with the waste. Like wet waste can be composted. If we have garden, we can use a compost over there. The dry of us sell our newspapers, then why not the other stuff? Now you might say other stuff, everything doesn't get recycled or is not being taken by the rack picker. So we are there right now in Guwahati city. At least we are there. And there are other organizations doing amazing job in few other cities also, as per my knowledge, in a very similar way. So there are many organizations now doing similar work. So let's do our part as citizens, citizens. So I think when you ask how we have convinced people, that we have come with the service. If you see, once you have come with this service, that if you do this, we will take your waste. So more people have said that, okay, let's do this, because now after segregating, it's not the municipality, but another organization who is coming, and they're ensuring 100% recycling. So we allow the participants to also come to our office and see how we are segregating. We also take our participants to the recycling plants to see how their waste is getting recycled, what products are being made. So our process is very transparent, and it empowers people to act on that basic level, to do their part. I hope I answered you, Kashmira.
So I had this question: is the government also working with you, and like till what extent is it even supporting the very initiative?
We are reaching out to the government. The government has its own share of problems also, because they have to deal with a lot of problems, out of which waste management is one. I won't say they are not doing anything about it, but yes, there are a lot needs to be done. As of now, for us, we have not got any kind of support yet, be it financial or be it any kind of other moral support. We haven't got any such support yet. But we are trying to reach out to the municipality to share our ideas, and we really hope, because the work that we are doing is actually the job of the municipality, the urban local body that we say, that we hope that gradually we are keeping data of what all we are doing. We are documenting every little bit of the work that we are doing. We want to share it with the municipality, with all the organizations who are dealing with waste collection. And we strongly believe that if there are more organizations follow this process, definitely waste can be managed in much better way. So I hope I answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There is another question from Kashmira, as she is saying, Power of Center is focusing in Guwahati. Is there any strategy to include other districts of Assam? Very good question, Kashmira. So what we are doing is, we recently moved to a place called Pasighat in Arunachal Pradesh. They saw this project that we are doing in Guwahati, and they wanted us to, share these ideas and strategy with them. So we went to the place, did some ground survey, and we are empowering local organizations. Because if we see from the sustainability point of view also, few people from Guwahati going to all around the country is not a very sustainable thing to do. And we want to empower more organizations. It's not one organization doing all the job. It's more organizations doing, handling their local waste, right? Because it will lead to a lot of local livelihood, local employment also. So for any other place in Assam, and as I've said, any other place in the entire country, for that, maybe if anyone is interested, and if they don't have any idea of how to start it or how to do it in their place, and they want to do it, we are there to support them, definitely, for sure. And if it needs that we have to go there for some time for some survey and all, we can definitely plan that out too. And this project is really not a rocket science. It's possible in any part, in any corner of the entire country, in India, if I can say. It's possible, and it's a need of the time, I believe.
Shirshendu, this is Milind. I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a few questions. So recently somebody has said that they want to make a place in Gulaghat, a model village.
Yeah.
So they have a family of 250 families.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a non-profit, and I know that you put lots of your lots of your personal time. But a organization, a small organization, where they need money, will it be self-sufficient for? Will they able to do for 250 families? Will it be? Will they be self-sufficient?
Yeah, very good
question. Will they be able to do it?
I believe they will be able to do it. See, now the right answer is not on whether I believe it or not. So it needs to start with a data study. So whenever we are looking at the feasibility of a project, now that we have worked for almost 2 years into this, now we have understood what are the parameters that can answer this question. So it depends on the amount of waste generated and how many people are going to work on it, on the waste collection process, like the distances, because transport is a big issue. Transporting the waste is a big issue. So now you take any space, like if you're saying Golaghat, we need to see the nearest, waste selling facilities. We call it scrap dealers, right? So it needs little bit of ground survey, and maybe I'll say 1 to 1.5 months at max. I'm saying 1 or 1.5 months is the maximum time I'm saying when a ground survey can be done, and when this question can be answered on whether this can be self-sustainable or not. And I believe this should be self-sustainable for 250 families in any place in Assam, because Assam has a very good network of rag pickers and scrap dealers. So one need not go really large distances for recycling the waste. The network is quite good in Assam.
Okay, so maybe if you have certain questions, prepared, then maybe you can able to give. The other day we went to Bizni, and there's a doctor over there who is really wants to take ahead Bizni overall, holistically. So even they could, because he seems to be the leader. He wanted to make some movement like this, and we can suggest about Midway, your project. And then maybe you can provide them some preliminary questionnaire, so that you do not have to, somebody do not need to go there and, study for months. Maybe, they can do some preliminary work beforehand,
Yes, exactly.
So that, I'm thinking, how could we collaborate? And, we have interns now from various places, specifically for Tezpur and Jorhat and Dibrugarh and stuff like that.
That's wonderful.
How could these people can be bespoke, how we can have this ripple effect, your knowledge. And having said that, as you know, I live in Babuni Maidan. All this time I was cleaning up our hill, my parents' hill, because previously 20-25 years ago, people do not know how to do segregation, and they are buried in the hill. So we have to dig it up, and almost over 100 bags of crashes, I got it clean. Now, since the basic line is there, of course it is went to Borgaon itself, I guess, but now since it's cleaner, no, I do not have much. So now we can think about your project, and I was just thinking about Enajori having an organization over here. Maybe if you put some tall beams over here saying plastic and paper, maybe the community can come. And because every time in front of my house, there's this junction. The junction is always dirty. I'm tired of calling GMC and requesting them to clean. I'm just thinking, if you have a box where we said that throw your Tetra packet or your, plastic, and it gets filled, so that not only our community, this community or this corner. I'm just thinking how we can collaborate. Maybe we collect, unlike you guys, we don't want to collect the trash inside, but maybe we can put some bins where it can be collected, and then maybe you can collect from here. How could you collaborate with you guys? That is the question.
Yeah. Very good question. So see, what we are mainly working in PO3, if you see, is to find a value for all kinds of waste. So why few waste are just being dumped around us? Like if you see in Guwahati, you hardly will ever find any plastic bottles here and there, because they have a value. So they are not being littered, because even if people are littering it, there are rag pickers who are collecting it. So now we are working on having a value for all kinds of waste, and we are quite close to doing this actually. Almost all kinds of waste are having a value right now, almost, if I should say. So regarding the infrastructure part, as you were saying, definitely dustbins can be, I think municipality support will be needed here, because the municipality is already collecting waste. So, and I think presently the way municipality is working, they should support such ideas. So, and even if they don't, I don't see like, it's a big problem. So this can be done, and a team can be trained. We can do that. A team can be trained to do the segregation and selling of the waste. So we can work in two ways. One is to empower a local team who learns from us how to segregate waste to different categories and where to sell them off, so that they can earn something out of it. That is the first thing. Or second thing is that in the initial time, if we think that no, there is no team or no one coming out to do that job of segregation, but they are ready to store their waste, clean and dry separately, then we can be the team to collect that waste from that single point and do the rest of the job, like segregation into further categories and finally selling it off. So that we can talk, visit the place, or maybe start with talking with the people to understand how much interested they are. And I think on phase wise, this is something that can definitely be done. Yeah.
Thank you. And do you handle what to do with diapers, or, what do you do with diapers? Diapers is a wet waste, right?
No. Diaper is a reject waste. So it is neither a wet, not a dry. It's called as a reject waste. Means 10% of all the waste we generate falls under reject waste, like band-aids, condoms, diapers. These are all the reject waste. So what to do is this thing, because it might carry virus and all, and it's not something that we want our rec pickers to handle, definitely. So the best thing is what we need to do, and many cities are already doing it, like Pune, Indore, is we need to learn how to dispose it. First thing is to wrap it with paper and use a red sketch pen or red pen to make a red cross sign, which means whoever is handling it knows that there is reject waste inside. This is for the ethical side of the rag picker's job, first thing. And second thing is what to do with it. If we think about it from a scientific point of view, it needs to be incinerated. That is the only thing that can be done. We have one machine installed in, I think Earthful Foundation did that job with All India Limited in Nunmati, in I think Sector 1, I think. They have this little small radio kind of a device that size, where you can put the pads inside, switch it on. But it has its own problem, like it emits the gases, So not that it's a perfect solution, but yeah, it's something better than, putting it into the roadside or the dump site.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I will, Dr. Himan Mehdi is asking, but before that, I'll just answer the question of, I think, Khan Bashir. How can we convince the government to curb the formation of polythene or wrappers? Or it means government is capitalizing polythene, but seeks to prevent from people who are used to such unfavorable items. So actually, the good news is that there is a new plastic ban that has come, which is going to be enforced from July 2022. I know people are not very hopeful because before also we have come up with bans and nothing has been done. But this time, I see a different approach. State Pollution Control Board has already taken action. We are far from July, but action has started. 2 days back, the State Cabinet Ministry met for this meeting of phasing out single-use plastics. So there is a huge chance that, so in Assam, the rules, as per the rules, manufacturing, marketing, and sale of this single-use plastic like polythene and all below 50 micron is completely banned. And now this 50 micron is a width. It's a width of the plastic. Now the government has changed the rules and now it's like 125 microns. Okay. So more the micron size, I'm not going into the details of it, but the thicker the plastics, the easier it is for recycling and the better quality will be the recycled products also. So the central government and the state government are going towards a good, good path, I should say, towards, I can say, reducing the use of single-use plastics. Items like earbuds made of plastic, items like plastic straw, items like plastic cutlery, like plastic spoon, bowls, these are being banned. The papers have come, the government is working on it, and It starts from July. And the best thing is also that what about the people who are working? Is our government thinking of the people? So at least recently when I read in the newspaper report, the good news is that the Assam government is working with the people who might end up losing jobs because of this ban. And they are working on the rehabilitation to work on industries who are creating alternatives to plastic. So I personally see that it's a thoughtful process. At least the meetings are happening, and the action has been already initiated in a holistic way. And I'm hopeful that this happens. I don't know what will finally happen. We can look forward to, but it's better than before. The efforts are much better than before. Dr. Himani, I'm definitely writing it down, my email ID to you on the chat. Sorry. So I just also announce two things. Like one thing is we have recently released a music video on the lines of waste, on the journey of us as an organization, and a story. So it will be, I'll be grateful if you all can take some time out and look into that video. Our YouTube channel is The Midway Journey, and the song is named as Midway. Do give your feedback, and if you like, you can share with more people. And also, second news is that from 20th of February, we are starting off our cleanup drives back again, because seems like COVID is not there, almost like. So we're ready to start off with the cleanup drives and citizens training campaign again. So it'll be great if more people joins in for this. So that's all from my side.
Thank you, sir. I shall wait for a minute more if there are any more questions that can be put forward. After that, or else we would conclude.
Okay.
Shirshendu, if nobody has question, I have a question. What is your 2-year and 5-year goal for Midway? Specifically for, Power of 300.
It's the main goal is to set up PO3 as a complete independent business model, and tie up with the municipality and the informal sector, like formalize it, employ the informal sector and work on this. And is to also, I'll use the word like EPR mechanism is going on, extended producer responsibility. So we also want to work with various brands. Now the central government is giving targets to the brands to recycle their products. So we also want to tie up with brands and do this, set it up as a business where we are recycling all kinds of dry waste completely, from higher value to all the low value. And we also want that at least we, influence at least 5 more cities. Empower 5 more organizations in 5 more cities at least to start this off, where if they have any confusion, if there are any doubts that they want to start, to lend support and make it happen in 5 more cities. Yeah.
So this is your sales speech. You yourself, though did your PhD and got a chance to go to US to do aeronautical science, I think. So, and you choose astrophysics. Sorry, I always confuse astrophysics.
No problem.
Instead, you decided to be a kachrawala and segregate the kachras, right? So, how you are going to, hopefully, one goal is to that people learn from you, get inspired by you, hopefully what is your talk? How would you convince somebody else, like, who is deciding, who wants to go, but not sure, he is really feeling about the environment?
Yeah.
What is your speech, so that tell
Yeah.
them, tell them that it is okay, that it can be doable, that they can be the person, leading that, or, step in. What is your sales speech, that there could be other Shirshendus, in
Yeah.
corners of Assam?
So mainly exactly that what you have said, and I know you have repeatedly, inspired and motivated me to think about this, is to grow community leaders, So we are working on this, model where, because in Power of 300, if we see Guwahati city consisting of 60 municipal wards, and we are collecting waste from all these places, we want more people to join, and it's not possible for a few people to reach out everywhere. So we are already working into this method of creating community leaders, or we can call as ward leaders, in different municipal wards, and giving them, sharing the responsibility with them, where they are the leaders of their community. They are the ones who are reaching out to the people, because the community also knows these people from their own community, so it's easier to reach out. So definitely one target, as I say, is that whatever knowledge we have gained over this 3.5 to 4 years, whatever the experience, now we want to invest more time in having more leaders with with similar mindset and with similar passion to innovate in the sector of waste. And yes, that's that. I hope that answers our million. Did you ask something else?
Yeah. That's why and also to tell people that this is doable, right?
Definitely
Financially, is
doable.
it doable?
Yes.
Financially, how do they get get their ends meet?
So in PO3, because you're talking about the finance, in PO3 right now, we are a team of 4 people who are doing this work. 4 people right now who are concentrating in the work of Power of 300. And I'll tell you that none of us are spending any money from our pocket on this. Yes, true that our earning is less. That's true, because also we have to see that we are working with just 500 households in a city of lakhs. So of course, that's natural. And why it's less? Because we have been working a lot on data for the last 3 months, and we will work more on the data for few months more before expanding it. Okay, so if just 500 households have made it possible, we call it as break even, right? Means we don't have any loss from PO3 anymore. Okay, we are paying to all right now, and yet we are not incurring any losses. And this is possible in any other part. Just that if the number of households increase, then definitely there will be more profit coming in, and it will help sustain. I will also say that waste recycling may not be like a job which will make anyone a millionaire or billionaire. It won't. Right now, the way the situation is, it won't make you a very rich person. But if you are someone who wants to do business on this and run it sustainably, so that it's feasible, that is definitely possible. That I'm sure about. Means we are doing this, so that's why we are sure about that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving towards the conclusion of the session, it was just yesterday that I was seeing the movie Gehraya, where there was one dialogue which was said by Deepika Padukone asking her husband that throw the garbage. And when her husband said, the boyfriend said that no, आधा मुंबई ऐसा जीता है. So that time Deepika said that नहीं, मुझे अलग आधे मुंबई की तरह जीना है. That was when I started wondering whether there any kind of waste management, like in case of Assam, every time that we go to the Bhorolu River, we see so much of dump waste. So I started wondering whether there would be someone really, such person who would be really thinking about the society much beyond. So it was really nice to have you, sir, with us. You truly proved the quotation that Mahatma Gandhi had said, be the change that you want to see in the world. That is what I literally could connect with you regarding as well as related. And it is really wonderful to know how important waste collection is when it comes to biodiversity conservation, whether it is in the case of Digholi Pukhuri, or whether Deepor Bela, whether it is in Chandrapur case. It is really wonderful to know as to how biodiversity and waste has a so So it has such an intimate connection. Along with it, the pictures that you had shown us was really very shocking, and truly knowing the fact that Assam, the city of Guwahati, stands at 356 of 380 cities, it was really very shocking for me as a person, as a student, to know about this. Because on one hand, where I as an individual have to take the duty to keep on cleaning the roads, to keep on cleaning, forget the roads. It even starts from my own home itself, rather than move out of the town. That's what that was one thing that I was just hoping about, that we as individuals would start taking up the responsibility as individuals, rather than just keep on saying it's the government responsibility. Along with it, one thing that I really appreciate is the fact that you're also taking care of the rag pickers from providing them jobs, to that of even vaccinating, providing them with vaccination, along with it to the providing them with gloves. In the time of COVID, this is job is one of the most important thing, and to do the job along with taking proper care of the health is really appreciative. Along with it, the very idea of your doorstep collection really helps all the individuals, helps the citizens to really go forward for this very initiative, as because otherwise most likely the citizens would be really very much they would not appreciate going to some locality and then throwing the garbage, but where the doorstep picking has come about. So this is one thing that I really appreciate. And most importantly, the one thing that I literally, and I'm sure all of us would appreciate, it's the very fact about the helpline number that you have come about. So overall, sir, it is really we are so lucky to have you with us, and it was really a very informative session. We all got to know a lot of things, and truly right now I was just talking to my mother that why not even we start this with our apartment. I just hope that you also go for the apartment as well. And
Yeah.
okay, so I was just telling my mom if we could also do it with our apartment as well. So yeah, thank you so much, sir. And truly, the one quotation that you had said, not the only thing that we have to do is to segregate the waste in home, and thereby the rest of it would be taken care by your community, with your group. So that is really wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, and we had a very great session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks all.